Hey gorgeous, so I'm just in between sessions here quickly having some coffee, and I just got off a call with an incredible new client who has joined the Unleashed Through Love program, and I'm just blown away by the caliber of women who are signing up for this. There's still some spaces left, so if it's feeling like a soul yes to you, if you know that this is your time to have a breakthrough, to really step up into your purpose work, then check out the details and either PM me or else just sign up and get your sweet ass in there. Maximum 10 spaces. But what I really wanted to talk to you about today is how I observe people living in faith versus those living in fear. Because what they say a lot of the time sounds similar. I believe that whatever we desire is already a done deal. Like the moment you want it, the moment you say to the universe, this is what I desire, it's done, baby. It's already yours. You have asked and it is given. However, there is a difference between saying you want something and then saying that, oh, I'm just going to trust now that the universe is going to deliver it to me. And claiming something as your desire, as it is already done, and then take courageous action in faith that it is already yours. So often when I have a desire, it is like, seems enormous. It seems impossible. People tell me it's impossible. People tell me that I'm not being realistic. Like, whatever. I choose to believe, and because I believe, I take that leap. Now, does that mean that I'm not scared whilst I am free falling down to planet Earth? Of course not. If you are in my inner circle, you'll know that I lose my shit every now and again as well, when I just have my little freak out moments and it's like, fuck! But I still take the leap in faith that the net is going to appear. I put the skin in the game. If I say that I truly believe, but you know what? I'm going to stand here on the top of the cliff and I'm going to wait for the universe to fill in the gap for me so that I can just walk across, and it's just like, no, that's not faith. That's fear. And I invite you to really take a hard look at this. Saying that you will only pray about things, that you will just pray that it will come to you, that you will pray if this is your designed destiny. That is such a fearful space to come from. There's such a lack of personal responsibility in that. And I know that a lot of us were raised with that mentality. But you know what, darling? We're not 5 years old anymore. And it's time to start thinking. It's time to start questioning everything that you have been told and to start telling a better story, a more empowering story of greater responsibility. Because for me, words without action does not indicate faith. It indicates fear and an excuse not to show up for yourself, not to show up for your desires. Now, this might sting a little bit. You might actually be triggered as fuck right now. You might be really upset with me right now. And that's okay too. My question is, what are you going to do with that trigger? Are you going to take that trigger and do some real deep introspection and go back on your life and have a look at all the things that you said you truly desired, but then you were waiting for the sign, you were waiting for the universe to deliver, and because the universe didn't, you let go of the dream? And then, you kind of just sat there and go, well, clearly it was just not meant to be. It just wasn't your time. Because you and I both know that's complete horsemanure, right? Or are you going to go back and have a look at all those times when you said you really wanted something, and then recognize that either A, you didn't really want it, and it was one of those things where it would make you look really cool and, people were applauding you for 2 seconds and that gave you a little bit of an ego boost, Or maybe you just didn't really believe that you were worthy of having it. Maybe you didn't really believe that you were enough to receive it. And your lack of action, courageous action, not the easy action, not the comfortable action, the kawabanga motherfucker action, will be a really good indication for you of whether you have been living in fear or whether you have been living in faith. And then what do you choose from now on? My invitation to you, actually, my challenge to you, is to identify one thing that you've been saying that you absolutely want. You've been telling the universe this is a non-negotiable for you. And then take one action that has you leaping in faith. That action that has you put skin in the game. That if the universe does not step up right now, you're probably going to end up bleeding a little. And then I will say, you have faith. And if that just feels too much, then at least admit to yourself that you're living in fear. Just be honest with yourself, because really the pain that people are in is because they're continuously lying to themselves to feel better, but they're so out of integrity on the inside that a little breeze can blow them over and have the card house come tumbling down. This is a time for honesty. This is a time for integrity to return, to drop the shame, to get rid of the blame, and to just actually get raw and naked with ourselves. For everybody says they want to be free, everybody says they want freedom. Well, darling, this is true freedom. Personal responsibility is ultimate freedom. If this video has triggered you or inspired you or whatever reaction it got from you, I'd love to hear from you. What is coming up? What is coming up from, are you truly living in faith, or have you discovered maybe you've been living in fear? And full confession, I lived in fear most of my life. I started living in faith in some areas, but as a holistic, it was very much fear-based, fear-driven, fear-drenched. So fucking what? We're human. Shoot me. But ultimately, when we start having the honest conversations, that's where we liberate ourselves from the bullshit. If you're an alpha female and you know that the only reason you are not where you want to be is because of you, your programming, your old beliefs, old wounds, whatever it is, then I'm going to invite you to really check out Unleashed Through Love. It is limited spaces because it's very high touch, and it's a really high caliber of women that's in there that's just had enough and that's 100% committed to her next level thrive right now. I hope that you have an amazing day further, and never forget, only death is inevitable. Thriving truly is the courageous choice of the alpha female. Cheers.